Is at war, shall we?
We shall, but first, if you're new to this channel, please click subscribe and give this video a thumbs up.
And if you want to support us on Patreon, there's a link in the description.
You guys, we have a guest.
We've got a guest. She's back.
Shall we bring her in?
She's winning our Survivor Fantasy League.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Yo, I'm winning. Yeah, I'm totally winning. I'm winning.
You are. I can't catch you. I'm like 1 or 2 points behind you all the time, but I can't catch you.
Well, who do I got left? I don't even know who I got left.
Well, you have Tony, which is huge.
Importantly, yeah, you got Tony. You got Nick still. And you got Ben. And Sarah.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm killing it. What?
You really are.
Dude, I told you that going for people that could get advantages and stuff is paying off right now.
It is.
It really is. I can't believe how good. Like, you just lost Adam. That was the first person and only person that you lost.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. Yeah. So you have pulled ahead. You have 61 points, and David has 59.
I'm still close.
Wait, we still got the battle back, though, don't we? With the battle back.
We still got
two, don't we, this week?
Well, yeah. So we have 2 hours this week, so we'll probably lose 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
What if I made like all my people made like Final 4, Final 5?
I mean, like, they could legitimately like that 4 could be the Final 4.
Yeah.
Well, I really had no idea that Ben was going to work with Tony or Sarah. Like, I knew Tony and Sarah would probably work together, but I had no idea that they were going to. And Nick, I didn't know Nick was going to work with Tony. And it's like, yo, it worked out. It worked out.
Yeah, it really
did.
So
I didn't even think Tony would still be in the game.
Yeah.
Much less dominating.
Well, I thought he would get advantages and do this, that, and the other. And that's part of the reason. Well, that's how I picked my whole team was because of the advantages and stuff. I thought point system, because how could you really pick a winner with as all the great players that we have? So I thought, yo, I'm gonna go for advantages, try to kill him on points. And it just so happened that my people are still in. So
and they're working together, because that's on my team. I had Jeremy, Kim, Denise, and Tyson, and they were all kind of working together at one point too. But then your team started to knock my team out.
Denise, Jeremy's in a good spot, but I think Denise is in trouble.
She's in trouble.
Denise does feel like she's in trouble.
Yeah, and she feels like she's starting to really feel the like mental aspect of the game, especially with, I just was watching some previews before we started this, and one of the previews for this next episode is her. She's like, I'm not a tattoo lady. I don't have any tattoos, probably never will, but I need to like write words on each wrist, endure and let go. And I just need to be okay with either option, you know, for these last 9 days. And you can tell she's like getting teary and like the confessional, which I get. Like Sarah and I were talking last week, the craziness of the tribals must be driving these people insane.
Yeah,
because it's wild.
Mine wasn't even anywhere close as to the way it is on 40, but I can tell you from personal experience, like I understand why she throwed her hand up and she's like, yo, this is enough, I'm done. I totally get it, because man, it really puts your emotions like through the roof. It tests them on every level, and it's starting to wear on some of them more than it is others. And Tony works well in chaos. Like he creates it and he works well in it. And the other sane people are like, I'm going nuts. You know what I mean? It's driving me crazy. So
this last tribal, Elaine, it looked like they all, except for Tony, were so over it. They're exhausted. They're mentally drained. Well, they're physically drained as well. But just like the paranoia and the anxiety seems like it's really getting to them. Are you seeing that? Are you feeling that?
No, I think it is. And like you said, especially those that are on the outs, like Denise, Michelle. I don't know if Sarah was she's a boss, dude. For her to be like, nah, Tony, you just put that back in your pocket. You don't got to play it. Like that was like, yo, what did she know that we didn't know? You know what I mean? Like she was like so confident when everybody else seemed to be like so up in the air. And Ben's squirrely. You know, Tony's always squirrely, and Nick's been a little squirrely this season. So it's like, yo, how could she stay so calm in a tribal council that was like that. I would be like, no, Tony, play it.
Yeah.
I know.
I almost
Don't
wonder
take
if
any
she
chances.
had. I thought she like almost gave up for a minute because she was like, I don't know, whatever, just don't play it. And I was like, wait, what? I don't know if she was confident or what.
I don't know. I was wondering, like, where Michelle had gave him that flip a coin thing. Yeah. Do you think he's going to give that back to her?
I wonder.
Yeah.
I mean,
he can't keep that.
Well, I mean, it's Survivor. They can do what they want. You know what I mean? Like, how many times have you seen people hand somebody an idol and be like, hey, hold on to this? And then the minute they do a confessional, they're like, this is my idol. You know what I'm saying? Like, how many times have you seen that? I'd be curious to see if he gives it back to her. Because, you know, she voted for him.
I know.
Right? Yes. Right.
Yes. And that's another thing that I saw in the previews was she was saying, like, she's just out of every vote. Like, she has no idea what's going on, truly. Right. And she comes back to camp and she's like, well, I thought all the votes were going to Jeremy. And I thought I was like doing a really nice thing by giving him this advantage. But clearly I don't know what's going on. And so she's kind of in damage control mode now with Jeremy a little bit because she's like, oh. Well,
let's walk through that. Why did she give him the flip a coin? And why did she turn around and vote for him? Oh, is it because she was trying to save face with everybody else? And
she might have been. But I feel like they would find out eventually anyway that it was her advantage. So I don't know why.
So she thought, at least what it seemed like, is she thought she didn't know how to save Jeremy. She thought, I don't know how to flip this vote. We're all voting for Jeremy, so I would like to save him, so I'm going to give him this advantage. Because in the preview that we saw where she's like freaking out now, she was mad that she was on the wrong side of the vote. So she clearly thought all the votes were going to Jeremy. She's mad that she wrote Jeremy's name down and was on the wrong side of the vote. And she was mad that it was revealed that she gave him her advantage. So she screwed all around because she's like, well, now they know I was trying to work with him.
Right.
And I didn't vote correctly. So she seems pretty confused.
Yeah, that's crazy, though, because that means that Jeremy knew that Tony and them were gunning for Kim. So he still allowed Michelle to give him the flip a coin thing when he knew what the other vote. Why didn't he just tell Michelle to vote Kim? You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand.
Right.
I just feel like if somebody was offering me an advantage, I'd probably just take it. You know, I'd be like, you want to give me this thing? Okay, sure.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So now that all that's over, is he going to be like, oh, here, Michelle, here's your.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? Do you think he'll do that? Like, I don't know. I want to see if he gives it back to her.
I guess not. Maybe he'll try to like hold on to it for a little while. I think that this is why these tribals are, I mean, they were kind of exciting at first, but now they're getting a little annoying and stressful because I feel like Jeremy would have said exactly what you just said. Like, don't worry about it, Michelle. You know, we flipped the vote for Kim. This is what we're doing. But I think Jeremy was so confused. And then Tony and Jeremy are literally like, Tony's like, did you vote that way? Did you like, am I okay? Like, they're still talking about it after the vote.
Yeah.
For him to decide if he's even going to flip the coin.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't know all that was allowed. Cause you know, like once the votes are, you know, whatever, I thought like you had to shut up basically.
Yeah.
But not. Apparently you could keep on talking and
you can,
that's what we thought.
Yeah. When he brought the vote thing back and set it down, like they just started another 5 minutes of it. But it's funny to me how after all those tribals with nothing, now we had a tribal with subtitles at the end. Y'all see that? Where we had some words. Yeah, they had that.
Oh, yeah.
We had some words at the bottom so people can understand because there's so much gameplay that's going on that the audience is not getting to see because you don't know what they're saying. So they finally put words to it. So I was really appreciative of them doing that, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've only really seen the like gameplay after the vote thing one time that I can remember. I think Parvati was playing an idol for someone and she walked up to Jeff and she turned around and she said like, did you vote for who I told you to vote for? And they say yes. Right. And then she's like, okay, I play this. I forget who she was playing the idol for, but you're right, Elaine. Like we hardly ever see any strategizing after the votes are cast aside from like are you going to play your idol or not? But there's no like whispering and conversation about like which way did you vote after it goes down.
Yeah, and that went on for a little bit too, because you know they were confirming with each other, and then Jeremy was on whether or not to flip the coin, and then he slipped it back in his pocket.
And Michelle's like giving him the eyes.
Yeah, Michelle was like,
do it.
Dude, I felt bad for her though. It's like she stuck her neck out to save him.
Yes.
And was being pretty smart about it, you know, voting for him and giving him the thing, because then she could, you know, like, I don't know what happened, you know what I mean? But it just sucks that it went down like that. Now it's got me curious on whether or not he's going to give it back to her. So I'm excited for Wednesday.
Right? I have to say real quickly, thank you to Faith. Faith gave us a super chat with all hearts. Faith. We appreciate it. Hearts back to you, Faith.
Yes.
So, Elaine, do you feel like we should continue to see tribals like this in future seasons, or should Survivor put some sort of restrictions and maybe keep it so you can't move out of your seat or something?
Well, I think Jeff likes a live tribal. You know, I know from personal experience, when you're sitting there and there's not a lot happening, like he's like, let's go. You know what I mean? Like he's not telling you what to say, but he's like, yo, I need something from you.
Yeah.
You know, like you can't, because I would always be like, oh, I don't know. And he would get frustrated because even though he knows you can't like divulge a lot of your game, and he knows you can't, you know, say like stuff out of turn that doesn't go directly with how you're playing. He knows you can't do those things. However, he still has a tribal that he has to like make somewhat suspenseful and this
entertaining.
Yeah. So whenever tribal is dead, because I've been to a couple where it's just like everybody's trying to say mum's the word. We're all like, you know, I've been to a couple of those, and he does not like that. He doesn't like it. He's like, no, you're gonna give me something. I gotta work with something, you know. So I think he likes the live tribals. I really do. I think it's like spur of the moment, flying by the seat of your pants, you know, balls to the wall. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if they will restrict that in the future. I don't think they will. I just think that, and you know, not every cast is going to be as lit as this one. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's just not going to happen, especially when you start getting some newbie seasons like ours. Like, you know, you got people that are more laid back, whereas all these winners came out and they all come guns a-blazing with a purpose, and and they're trying to like outsmart the next and this and this. So I don't think it'll be as much so as it is right now. I don't think it will be.
Yeah. Because I think there's like a certain level of confidence that you have to stand up and walk around and be whispering in people's ears, because as much as you might think like, oh, I'm strategizing and I'm like shifting the way the vote's going to go, you're also kind of putting a target on yourself by being the person up out of your seat, like making the moves at a certain tribal. So I think you're right. This is kind of like such a rare case, because it's all people who've won the game, believe in their own, you know, capabilities in the game of Survivor, and so are willing to like stand up in the middle of a tribal and shift the vote live, you know?
Yeah, I agree with that. I second that motion.
Another thing, though, that is a little confusing and concerning is that multiple people stepped off of an immunity challenge last week for some cookies and peanut butter. Help us out with this, Elaine. What's it like standing up there and being offered food?
Okay, like I personally, I've talked to Nick about this. I set out for bacon. Yes, I did. I set out for bacon. There was a method to my madness. I wanted Elizabeth to win. I didn't want to have to compete against her and throw it and then have them thinking, oh, Elaine's throwing a challenge. So I thought, I'm just going to set out because it betters her chances of winning. Because I was trying to do some whatever. It didn't work out. But I don't think I would ever step down for food unless I was almost out. You know what I mean? Because you can push your body and like I got bad shoulders from playing ball. I got messed up rotator cuffs. So I hold my arm up for so long, but eventually it gets to a point where I just can't do it no more. Well, if you get to that threshold and you know it's coming, you can always be like, all right, I'm going to step down. But I don't think that Nick and them was there. I think that Nick was thinking that he would give it to Tony because he didn't want Tony to go. I think he was thinking the same thing I was thinking. You know, I wanted to set out so Elizabeth would have a better chance. I think Nick stepped down because he knew Tony was going to go. That's what I think.
Do you think Nick is keeping Tony as like a meat shield or something? Why does he want Tony around, do you think?
Well, him and Tony are in an alliance.
Yeah.
But
is that real?
Yeah, I mean, they played together on and off since the beginning, you know, here and there. And I just think Nick's mentality is like, yo, they're going to gun for Tony before they gun for me. And so he's keeping Tony, trying to keep his word to him and this and this. And but he messed up. He totally messed up whenever Tony came. He was like, oh, hey, yo, Nick, you know.
Elaine,
like,
oh my God.
I was like, oh my God, dude, what are you doing?
Yes.
It freaks me out. I was like, oh, you're done. You're done.
Yes.
That was some of the worst lying I've ever seen.
For real, I should have messaged him like, bro, you're a lawyer. You couldn't come up with something on like Johnny on the spot. Like, I talked to him about it, and he said he was just caught off guard, and that was he was wanting to tell Tony that you know, oh, hey, they were coming after you, so I stepped down to save you. But before he could, Nick Ben went and spilled the beans. And when the first time he really talked to Tony come up and the first thing he said was like, hey, was people talking about me? And Nick's like, no.
But remember early on in this season when Rob did the same thing to Danny, because Danny was like kind of throwing Rob's name out, and then Rob heard about it and he went up to her and he said, were you throwing my name out? And she was like, yeah, I was. Like, you're a threat. And Rob was like, okay, respect. I think we can work together. Like, I almost think like in moments like that, sometimes, you know, honesty is the best policy, because
that was the thing, is he should have known that if anybody ever throw Tony's name out, that eventually it was going to circle back to him. And Tony, to being the kind of player that he is, that he would come in, he should have banked on that. You know what I mean? Like, that's almost a guarantee. And to have something ready to fire back, kind of like Danny, and be like, I was going to tell you, you know, so-and-so was saying such and such, but don't worry about that, you know. But he didn't. He was like, I was like, oh my God. Yeah. So I think he messed up, man. I think now that Tony's got that, I don't know about Nick thing. I don't know, man. I'm worried. Yeah. I'm really worried. I'm thinking.
So do you think earlier in the episode before we got to the challenge, and he was talking to Kim and basically everybody being like, we're going to go after Tony. We're going to go after Tony. So you think that Nick deep down didn't want Tony to go? And so
I meant to ask him that. Because I was wondering that too. But it had to be that. It had to be that. Yeah, because anytime anybody comes up to you, you usually say, "Yeah, I'll do whatever, you know, whatever."
Oh, sure.
But I think that deep down he didn't. Why else would he have stepped down?
Right.
I don't think he wanted Tony to go. And
because the whole part where he was like, you know, he and Kim and whoever else were like sitting down after the immunity challenge, and Nick was like, oh man, like I didn't really think about it. Like, I feel so bad that I stepped off and gave it to him. I'm like, how did you not think about that in the moment? Like, he clearly knew that he was like giving Tony the immunity by stepping down.
I think that he was thinking that he would save him. And I don't know who Nick was targeting himself, really. I don't know who his target was. You know, I know Kim was Tony's target, because anytime anybody says Tony's name, they automatically become a target. But I don't know who Nick was targeting. So I don't know if he was thinking, given Tony the immunity, then Tony would do what Nick wanted. I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah.
It's a good question, though.
I'm also curious about, you know, Nick made the deal with Tony in the last seconds for the fire token. So clearly Nick thinks that the fire tokens are important somehow. I'm getting a little bit like TikTok, like, when are we going to see what the fire tokens really mean? Like, within the game, you know, we've seen how they can be beneficial on the edge of extinction with getting people food and stuff. But, you know, do you think that they're building to something big with the fire tokens, Elaine? Or like, what do you think the point is at this point?
Well, I think they have that menu in camp at all times, don't they?
Yeah, I think you're right.
So think,
is that it though? Like, they can buy a bottle of wine?
I don't know. What I'm saying is like, since they have the menu in camp at all times, like if you're a player that's in trouble, then you can finagle your way into an immunity idol. You see what I mean? I don't know if there's actually going to be like a climax, like a culmination of, all right, this is the moment. I don't know if that's going to happen. I know that it goes down like that on Edge, that they use those tokens to get advantages or to Rob does he still have his idol thing?
Yes.
Well,
yes.
Technically.
So Jeff confirmed that Rob and Natalie got to keep their idols, but that they're like on pause, like Sarah was saying right now. But if they get back in the game at this next battle back, then their idol will be good if they get back in the game.
Okay, is that coming down Wednesday? Is that going to happen Wednesday? Do we get the battle?
I don't know.
Mathematically, it should be the final episode, but there was a glimmer. You try to analyze every little thing. But in one of the previews, when it's just like a hodgepodge of clips, Yul is walking up to Edge with like a note, and the people on Edge are cheering. So then that made me think, oh, maybe they are going to do the return this week. But it's like just that quick. So I don't know.
2 hours. That's enough time if they. If they boot one out real quick, you know what I mean? Like you skip rewards, skip whatever, boot one out real quick, and then go into the battle back and then do another quick boot. They have time to do it. I just didn't know if it was going to go down like that. Well, that goes back to the advantages and stuff I was talking about. Like, on Edge, you have a climax. You have like, all right, the battle back thing. Natalie and Rob, they got their idols. They know that if they get back in, bam, they got them. With on the regular island, I just don't know like what would that point be to where I don't know what that is. Like I'm not smart like that. Somebody that's better with strategy can figure this out, like what they think it's gonna. I don't. But know.
I think that maybe you are right. Like just in terms of like you say, having that menu constantly like in your face, and just being aware that you can buy things, and maybe they're thinking like, when I get down to final 5, final 4. I could potentially use these fire tokens to buy that food, that peanut butter, whatever it is, to like give myself an extra boost going into one of these final immunity challenges when I really need it.
I got a good twist. I know what they could do is you could save your fire tokens up. You know how 4 is fire comp? What if you could save your tokens up and like either like opt out of the comp or put somebody in your spot? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't that be like nuts? It's kind of like a nullifier, an idol nullifier. It's like, all right, I'm putting Elaine to fire, and I'm like, no, you ain't. I got this. You know what I mean? Wouldn't that be cool though? That would be crazy.
That would be. I mean, I think that's what we were hoping for. We were hoping that they would be collecting these fire tokens, and then somewhere along the line here, final 5 or something, they get to purchase something big like that. That would be super exciting. We just haven't gotten any like hints that that's happening. So now we're worried.
It's final 5 is the last time you can play an idol, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Usually, yeah.
So there's got to be something after that, right? They can't have all the good stuff, burn up before 5. Like I would think that they're gonna do something with the fire thing. Yeah, fire tokens, fire challenge. Come on, Jeff.
There you go. Yeah,
you're on to something. You are.
Yeah.
What do we think about the Sarah-Tony relationship?
Oh my god. Okay, like when they were on Game Changers, like Sarah got burned. Yeah. Right? Was it Game Changers or
no? Cagayan, she got burned their first season.
Cagayan, she got burned, and she learned her lesson. You know what I mean? She come back playing like a criminal. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And then she comes back for season 40, and it's like, yo, cops are us. And I'm like, Sarah, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing? I think they're super close friends. And, over the years, I think they've become really good friends. I'm excited and nervous to see where it goes. Because, listen, if the two of them set in final 2 and whoever was third, if they set in final 2, like, that would be crazy.
That would be crazy.
You know what I mean?
But that's like a Wendell Dom situation where it's like two people who are so tight the whole game. Like, how do you pick? They essentially played the same game, Exactly.
But if Sarah gets cut and Tony makes it to the end, Dude, I think she's gonna murder Tony. Like, I'm pretty sure that she's gonna kill this dude. It's like she has so much trust and faith in this guy, even after he's already blindsided her a couple times. She's still down with him, and I'm like, yo, Sarah. I think Sarah's great. Like, I think she's more of a subtle player. She's more of a, not so much in your face like Tony. And I like that. I like that better for some reason. I mean, Tony's great TV, but just gameplay style. And I want her to go to the end, and I don't know if being in Tony's Cops Are Us crap is gonna get her there. And it's like, yo, I don't understand how they haven't voted him out.
Do you think that Tony would ever vote her out, though? Would he ever be on board with that?
Now, see, I think Tony's gonna have to pull an old Tommy Sheehan and let the group do his dirty work, kind of like how Tommy got rid of Lauren by allowing Nora to make that decision, but push her in the direction he wanted. So no blood was on his hands. And I think if Tony cuts Sarah, I think that's what he's going to have to do. I think that's what he will do. I don't know how it would go down any other way unless the two of them go to the end. I'm telling you, like, I got Tony to win it, because like, it's like, if they don't get rid of him this Wednesday, it's a wrap. Seriously,
I agree with you.
He's played an amazing game, and I told my boy Nick, I messaged him. I was like, no, why didn't you vote Tony? What's wrong with you? Every single week, I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
He's like, this is really helpful after the fact, Elaine. Yeah.
Well, I know. That's what I told him, too. I was like, yo, and I talked to Ben, too. I'm like, Ben, what do you? And he's like, we got to talk when this is over. I was like, okay, I just can't handle it. Like,
Yeah.
Well, I was like, yo, when he picked Tony up and ran through the woods, I almost died. Like, I died. God. It was the funniest thing. And
Ben and Tony together is so fun. When they were apart, I was like, oh my God, Ben and Tony are like the one crazy person on each tribe. Yeah. And now that they're together, just like running through the forest together, it's too much. I love it.
So
I really feel like Sarah and Tony is such a fascinating duo, because I think that, they must have a very, very deep connection. I think that there is some really deep trust for her to be able to be kind of like screwed over by him multiple times and still go back to him. There must really be something real there. But I feel like she's willing to cut him. I feel like she has the potential to use him as a shield for now, because I think people are looking at him before they look at her, at least right now. Everything changes every week. But she could make it to the end because of him, but she would be very willing to take him out at 4.
I think so too, because that's like kind of her game. Like, the way she won Game Changers was making really difficult decisions and blindsiding people over and over again and making really challenging cuts. So I think that she is maybe like a hair less loyal to Tony than he is to her.
Yeah. So who you guys always ask me who I want? Who are you guys picking to win? Who do you want to win?
Well,
all my people are on the edge of extinction. So
well, not our draft, just in general. Those that are left, like, who do you guys want to win?
I mean, I think just based on the past few weeks, like, Tony's the guy who's like in charge of the game right now. Like you were saying earlier, Elaine, everybody's getting so frustrated by the chaos of these tribals, and it's like really messing with people mentally. And you were saying that like Tony really kind of seems to thrive in this chaos. And I think it's because he's causing it. He's leading the charge with this chaos. And so it's not really chaos for him, because at the end of the day, he's getting his way. And the person who he wants to go home is going home or going to edge of extinction, Right. So I just think he is sitting so pretty right now, and he's got the stats, he's got the moves, like his resume is by far the best. But Sarah and I were talking in our last video, it may come down to the person who manages to get Tony out is kind of like then the de facto winner, because they made the biggest move of the game.
Who you got, Sarah? Who do you think's gonna win?
I mean, that's not, because I don't really have favorites. I just like the gameplay. So at this point, when someone really surges like Tony is right now, you say, who can cut him? Like, that's what's exciting to watch. Who can take Tony out? Yes, at this point, Tony deserves to win. And if he does win, props to him, give him the money. But if Denise, I think I would be super excited about Denise because she's in a horrible place.
Oh, yeah.
She is like, she has been scrounging to work with anyone and save herself for weeks. But she has that one amazing thing on her resume. So if she could somehow get Tony out and make it to the end, I think that would be exciting to see.
Well, she's got two. She got rid of Sandra. If she can get rid of Tony and Sandra, she's the giant slayer.
Huge. Yeah, exactly.
So impressive to see. I would hate, because she slayed Sandra, I'd hate to just like lose her. I mean, I'm glad we still have her. I'd hate to see that. But like, I would love to see anyone rise up. Michelle. And this is nothing against Tony. I'm just saying it's exciting to watch this gameplay. Yeah. Michelle, Jeremy, Ben, like any of them who could take Tony out, that would be exciting to see. But I think Denise the most because she took Sandra out.
Well, what I'm hoping happens is after this tribal, Tony's going to probably, I don't know, he has the idols, so he could possibly play it next tribal. So I wouldn't expect him to go the first one, but I'm hoping he would go the second. And I'm hoping that Nick, Michelle, Denise, and even Jeremy, because Jeremy, he's got to see that eventually, like you said, he's got to be cut. He can't get to the end. So it's like I'm hoping those scragglers on the outside and then big man Jeremy, I hope they jump on board and take Tony out. Because I'm kind of like you. I like whenever the big dog sitting at the top gets taken out.
Me too. Yeah.
I enjoy that. And Tony has been running it for a long time, and I'm just over it. I'm just ready for him to go. I wish my boy Nick would cut him, but I don't know if he can rally the troops.
I got real excited. I mean, this is what I love about Nick is that he's really good at following the numbers, laying low, but he wants to make a big move when he can. And so this last episode, when he started talking about like, it's time to take people out that I can't sit next to and beat, let's go. And I was like, here we go, Nick, let's go. And then he dropped in the challenge and I was like, no, Nick.
I know. I was like, oh my God. Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah.
That I don't understand it. I don't get it.
But that final 3 that he made, is still there. And it was an interesting scene because everything in the show is in there for a reason at this point. There's so much gameplay that's happening that like they are not wasting a second on this show with something we don't need to know about. Yeah. So the fact that they showed that scene and we haven't seen anything else with it yet. I don't know. I think there's more to come from that threesome of Denise, Michelle, and Nick. Yeah. Maybe they're going to rally.
That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping they rally because, there's 8 people left, right? Is there
7?
8 or 7? 7.
We're down to 7.
The battle back, so there'll be 8. Or well,
there you go. Yeah.
We'll probably lose 7. Right, we'll lose a 7th, and then maybe we'll go back to 7.
Okay.
At final 6, we might get a returner, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
See, but there's only a few more chances. Well, as far as we know, there's only a few more chances to use your idols, and they're only gonna have a few more opportunities to take Tony out. So it's got to be like soon that somebody rises up and be like, all right, this is how it's going to go down. Because if they don't do that soon, they won't be able to. I just don't know how they would be able to. Yeah. So hopefully, I don't know.
I mean, all that 3 really needs to do is like get Jeremy with them. Yeah. And then even if they're against Ben, Sarah, and Tony, they have the majority. So they can kind of like call the shots, and they'll realize that like these people are considering every single angle. So I think that may be something that's coming up. Tony had better win that immunity.
Yeah. What do you think about Ben and Tony? Like, do you think that's something that Ben's going to try to ride to the end? Like, what do you think's going down?
I think Ben is trying to get away from it. He just hasn't been able to.
Yeah, I think Ben wants to cut Tony because I think he's also a little frustrated. We saw in this last tribal, like he's over the chaos. Like he's tired of Tony changing the votes and changing the plans. And Ben has been trying for weeks to get Jeremy out and can't manage to do it. And so I think he's just like, like I thought this Tony thing was going to be good, but it's like more trouble than it's worth. I think he's kind of dying to cut Tony at this point.
And I think he knows he can't trust Tony. That's the thing is like Tony's so good at this, like in your face, do this. But you know deep deep down, you can't trust him. You know he's lying to you. You don't want to work with him. You just kind of feel like you have to work with him. Yep. And so I think Ben is just like, dang it, we can't.
Yeah.
Dang it.
And I think Ben kind of feels that his game is in Tony's hands. Like he's not in total control of his game right now because Tony's so in charge. And we already saw earlier this season, Ben did not like that from Rob. When Rob was calling the shots and telling people that they couldn't leave camp to go talk, like Ben did not respond well to that. So I think that he's kind of starting to feel the same way about Tony.
What do you think about him giving Jeremy the cold shoulder? And like
that's
he wouldn't even
such
talk
a
to him.
weird move. That's such a weird move. Like I can't believe
gameplay, right? No, Elaine, it's not good gameplay.
No, it's not. Like you have to speak, even if you hate him, you have to speak to him and be somewhat cordial. But Ben was like, no, I don't want to do it. No.
Yeah.
it's such why I'm entertained by Ben. Ben makes me laugh. But it's not because he's like playing some stellar game. It's because he's doing silly stuff like, no, I refuse. I will not.
Right. Yeah.
No, he was pouted up. We call it pouting up. He's pouted up. I was like,
totally.
What are you doing? And Jeremy was frustrated.
It's not a move that you see that often in this game because like you said, Elaine, like you just got to fake it. So often, even with people that you don't want to work with.
Dude, that's so hard to do. It really is.
Bet.
Like you would think it wouldn't be, but it is because you're so like fed up with everything. So you put somebody there that you don't like or you don't get along with, or that they just everything they do irks your nerves, and it's really hard to swallow that pride and talk to them anyway, and laugh and smile and be fake. It's hard to do.
I bet.
So I was just
not going to get Ben votes in the end. Like, I mean, that's your choice, Ben, if you want to do that. I mean, we saw Ben find an idol, and we know that Ben's success previously was in large part because of idols. So if he now goes on like a Ben spree, like we've seen before, we could see him sitting in the end. But I don't know that gets him votes, that he's sort of like ticked off Jeremy and like he's really working with people.
That's why I put Ben on my team, is because Ben found, I couldn't tell you how many idols. Tony found, I couldn't tell you how many idols. Like everybody I picked was like people that, well, and then some people, you guys picked my people, so I ended up with other people. So it's like, but that's why I picked him, is because of the advantages and stuff. And I don't know if he makes it to the end, if everybody is going to show him the respect. I don't care who gets to the end or how they got there. If they make it to the end, they deserve respect for getting there. And but I don't know, because people are so salty sometimes. I don't know if he would get any kind of respect from Jeremy. You know, I don't know if Jeremy would ever. They'd be like, "Yo, remember when you wouldn't talk to me?" This, So I don't know if that's going to work for him.
We've a lot of people in our community and our comments have been asking, like, what is going on with Ben and Jeremy? Like, what happened? Like, did I miss something? And I was like, I don't remember them having a fight or what's happened. And then I just recently read that supposedly, this isn't confirmed, but supposedly they were on a fantasy football league together and rubbed each other the wrong way. Like something happened there. So outside of Survivor, they already didn't like each other.
That's what's going to happen with me and Elaine. We're going to.
I'm never like speaking to David again. Once I smoke him, that's it. He's dead to me. Dead. Hey, do you guys know like the idol counts and all that stuff? Did you guys keep track of that stuff? I would like to know how many points we got off of that stuff.
Oh, for the whole season?
Well, for our draft, our people.
Yeah. That would take me a minute to read through it all. I have it all like written down, but yeah. I thought I meant like, so right now there's only a couple idols in play. Like only Tony and Ben have idols right now, which is interesting. And then we have that 50-50 advantage, who we don't know who owns that right now.
Yeah.
Well, I was just curious on how many points we got off of the advantages and stuff. And
well, I can tell you that Tony has gotten the most points. He's had 18 points over the season.
Yeah,
and that is.
Everybody keeps giving him stuff.
I know.
Everybody keeps giving him stuff.
Could you believe when he went around asking for tokens and people just did it? I was
Elaine,
blown
what's
away
that
by
about?
that.
No, that is like he's the man. He is absolutely the man.
Yes.
And wait, okay, Kim had been calling that he was playing double agent for a while. She's like, "Yo, he's playing both sides. He's playing both sides." And then here it was, that it shows him like I play a double agent. I'm good, But he pulled it off, and it's like, "Yo, how does he get away with that?" Especially when people are talking about it.
I know. We just couldn't believe that when he was going around asking people for tokens because he was like showing them the paper, like I have this thing, it's against me, and I need to be a number for you, and blah blah blah. And we didn't see one person say a camera, maybe I take this as an opportunity to get Tony out. Like, we just didn't see anybody say that. It was so crazy.
That's his genius. That's his genius. Is he literally, he's gonna lie to you. He's gonna double cross you. He's gonna blindside you, and you save him. Like, come on. I don't understand. What's in that whale down there in Fiji is what I need to know. What are they drinking?
In the water. They were so concerned about getting him on their side. They wanted him to vote with them. That was their main concern. And that you have to credit that to Tony. That's Tony's game right there.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's walk through that. If you're on Tony's side and then he's playing double agent to catch these things, if you're on this side, the opposite side, than say Sarah and all them guys, if you got rid of Tony, that's one less number for the other side. So couldn't you pull the other side? Like Sarah, Tony's gone, your guy's gone. You want to come with us? Why couldn't you do it that way?
Yeah.
Instead of keeping the Godfather around, like, what are you doing?
I know.
It made no sense. It made no sense, except that, apparently
it's great TV. It's great TV.
It is great TV.
Yeah, it's entertaining.
But that's what's going to make it even better when someone does cut him, because he's been like dominating. Yeah.
I'm waiting for it. I hope it's Nick. I hope Nick can do it, but I don't know. Like, people starting to feel sketched out about him when he told that lie to Tony, and then Tony's telling other people, and it's like, Nick.
Yeah.
Nick needs something on his resume. Like, he needs something. Even if he makes it to final 2 or 3, whatever they do this year, he doesn't really have a ton to brag about.
Yeah, it hasn't been a flashy game.
Same thing with Michelle. Like,
no, he's not. He and a lot of it does have to do with the edit,
for sure.
He's getting a goofball edit, you know what I mean? And but I know my boy's out there talking strategy and doing I know he is.
100%.
So it's like, if we don't see it, and if he makes it to the end, like, how do you convey that? Like, that would be so hard.
That's why people do all of this like analysis of edits all the time, because like you say, there's no way that Nick is not playing hard out there. Like, every single person is involved in so many strategy conversations that we don't see, but it's just the ones that end up influencing a vote or a move or whatever that make the show. And Nick just hasn't had as many of those, but it's not too late. Like, he, surging at the end of the game is the right time to do it, because then it's fresh in everybody's minds. So, and we saw last episode, he's starting to think about that.
Yeah.
Right. The fact that people aren't like, we got to get Nick out, is a credit to his game. Like, he's obviously he's playing the game. He's in it.
Well, that's like Kim. Like, a lot of people talked about Kim's game in the very beginning of the show. They talked about her game and stuff, but I think the last episode, the last 2 episodes, you got to see a good like thing of Kim, because she was calling stuff it seemed like other people wasn't seeing.
Yes.
And she was like, it seemed, I really thought she was turning the tide, bro. I thought the Kim of old was coming to play. You know what I mean?
Too.
I really thought that. And then it's like the rug got pulled out from underneath of her. But I think that I think she was the same thing with her. She was playing. It's just they didn't show it then. Now they showed a little bit of it, give you a little taste of it. And then she voted out. But
I think if Tony hadn't won that immunity, she would have gotten him out. I think it would have happened, but he saved himself, and then he had the opportunity to go after her.
Peanut butter saved him.
Yeah, right.
I guess so. Now, if we do have return this week, and it's somebody who just went out recently, like a Kim or a Sophie, and they get right back into it and maybe take out Tony, do they have a chance to win, do you think?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
I think so.
I think so, but
Yeah.
they could. I still don't think. I don't think anybody can sit next to Tony with how he's playing. Well, this is the thing though. Like you don't know what Tony's doing when you're out there. You only know what you see Tony face to face. You know what I'm saying? Like because of the edit, we get to see everything. So I don't know if people think that Tony's playing as hard as he is. I'm sure they do. But what I'm saying is you can underestimate it and be like, oh, Tony hasn't done that much. I can step with him or whatever. But I think if anybody sat next to him, they'd be screwed. But I definitely think that somebody comes back from Edge, I think they can win. For sure.
I think if it's someone recent, I think like Kim or Sophie, someone who hasn't been out of the game too long. Like, I don't think we're going to end up with another Chris Underwood situation where it was like a super early vote out and then was out of the game for 30 days and came back and bulldozed. Like, I don't see that really happening, but I see if it's someone who just missed a couple of days, but was in the game for like the mass majority, I don't know that it's,
if
definitely not going to happen.
If you're Natalie and you've been on the Edge all this time and they have had excruciating challenges, know, Ethan like has struggled in that, you know what I mean? Like they've all struggled. If you was Natalie and you got back in the game, I think those early people that was on the Edge, I think they would give her their vote because they know the struggle she's been through. Whereas if you came to Edge late, you wouldn't know because, okay, like whoever goes home, who went home last week? Kim just went home. So I don't think she would know the struggle that Natalie has been through to get there to vote. You see what I mean? So I think those early people like Ethan and even Boston Rob, which he'd probably go with gameplay, whatever. But to be on Edge has to be like miserable, terrible, or worse. It has to be. So like
awful.
For them to be there that long, for her, she's the first one to be there that long. And then if she was to make it to the end, it's like, yo, give that girl the freaking W because, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, she didn't strategize, but she did on Extinction, obviously, because I just think that maybe she could catch votes. She could catch those early people.
I mean,
votes.
her performance on Extinction, like not just the fact that she was there since day one and has been enduring all this stuff, but she's also, she freaking won this coconut challenge after being on the Edge since day one. And I think I said early on this season when she was eliminated, I was bummed because she was on my team for the Survivor League, but I was like, there is some poetry to her sister being voted off first on her original season and then her winning and then her being the first vote off in Winners at War, but coming back from the Edge. And then maybe, there's like a little bit of a story she could craft there that could maybe
I agree.
people.
Like if Natalie came back, because I feel like she physically could come back, she's incredible. And honestly, I think she has a ton of tokens. It's hard to keep track because I don't know who's getting these, but like I think she just extorted Tony for 6 tokens. She has at least that. Then she got 2 from this coconut challenge. If she has like 8 tokens, she might purchase a few advantages.
Oh my God.
Come back in the game, she'd have that idol. And then I do feel like the people who are currently on Edge know to take out Tony because they've seen these last 2 tribals. Yeah. And even Rob like whispered like Tony's a beast or something like that, or a boss. Yeah. So she knows if she went in and took him out, I feel like we do have a Chris Underwood situation again. And I am A-okay with it because yes, Natalie, insane, amazing.
Yeah, let's give props to Sophie in that challenge because Sophie come in second. I did not see that coming at all. Like, wow.
She is not an athlete, No,
that was incredible.
No, that's all heart right there. You know what I mean? That was cool to see her do that,
Yeah.
And well, I just take my hat off to all of them that's on the island, like, because I know that the struggle is real when you're on the main beach, but to be on Extinction and have even less, I couldn't imagine how tough that is. So the fact that they're all still there, still hanging in,
yes,
and still trying to win it. And even though my girl Sandra went home and I love her to death, like those people, mad respect for them for sticking in there and
absolutely,
yeah.
Yes, what they're going through is crazy, and I hope it does hold a little bit of value. Whoever does return, I hope that is considered. I know a lot of fans in this Survivor community are not fans of Edge of Extinction. They hate it. They don't want anyone returning to win. But I feel like we should take it all into consideration.
Yeah.
Depends.
Yeah, well, that's Chris Underwood. He's still like, people give him crap for winning his season, and it's like, man, unless you've walked a mile in brother's shoes and knows what he went through when he was out there, like, don't say that he's weak. You know what I mean? Don't say his win's weak, because me personally, if somebody comes back from the edge, especially like Natalie, who has been there from jump, if she came back from the edge, I would just be in awe of her badassness. That I would vote for her, because like she stayed in it, and I think the middle game within yourself is a lot harder than the middle game you play with others. So to be able to overcome that and come back, like, that's like, that's the underdog story right there that I root for.
Sure is. Absolutely. Yeah, I think it'll be interesting. I think if Natalie comes back, I think if Kim or Sophie come back, even Wendell, because Wendell could like sneak right in with Michelle and Jeremy, and like they could.
I forgot about Wendell.
Yeah,
he hasn't been
totally
that long.
I know. I totally forgot about Wendell.
Yeah.
Yo, there's so many people on this season that was like so good.
I know.
And it's crazy that they're half of them's on the edge now.
More than half. Yeah. Well, yeah, so we don't know if Return is coming back this week, but we do know we have 2 hours of Survivor this week, so super, super excited.
Yeah.
Then the following week is the actual finale, and so after the finale, you have to come back, Elaine, and we have to just go through all of it again.
I'm going to be on a Zoom call. I'll be on a Zoom call for that finale. I don't know how they're going to do it. Like, are they going to do a group Zoom?
Is that what, just like this right here?
It's like the Brady Bunch, dude. Like, it's all the cast is going to be behind Jeff, and he's going to be talking to him. Is that how they're going to do it? Like, that's.
I just don't know.
It doesn't. Nuts.
It doesn't feel exciting, but I mean, I have faith that the Survivor producers are going to pull something out of their hat, but they are extremely limited in terms of what they can achieve.
Well, that's like, you can't control who's doing a little sipping before the show airs. So it's like, you may have half the cast that's lit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They might be drunker than damn it, watching, and they might be hammered, drunker than Brown up there. So,
right.
I mean, you can't monitor everything. It's like,
No.
I don't know. It's going to be so weird.
It doesn't have to be live, though. I think that's the thing, is that when you have people Skyping in, Zooming in, whatever it is, they're going to do it ahead of time. They're going to tape it together. They're going to pull out the best sound bites. And so it's not going to be quite the same like live vibe where someone's just like drunk.
Do you think that it's got to be a live reading of the votes, though, right?
Oh,
that part has to be live. They can't. I don't think
they can shoot the whole reunion. They can shoot the whole reunion, like, hey, like, but they have to read the votes live, right? No, wait,
they can't do like 2 or 3 people. That's like this. This is live.
You can't have a whole reunion without knowing the winner. You have to announce the winner.
Yeah. Huh.
Just to those
Sarah, you're wrong. It's gonna be live. It's gonna be live. I'm gonna place bets on who's gonna get drunk. Who's gonna be hammered on the Zoom call. I'm gonna see if we can't get a pool going to see who's going to be drinking. Because I guarantee somebody's going to be lit. I just know it. It should be interesting, though. It really should be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down for whatever it is that they come up with. Whatever. The season's been so good. Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see how it works out.
We'll see.
All right. Well, Elaine, thank you so much for joining us. Glad you're surviving. I
appreciate it. Yeah, I'm getting fat in quarantine. I need to hurry up and get out of the house. I'm bigger biscuit now. So.
But still so adorable.
Yes.
I appreciate
we will be back this Wednesday after the show. So it's 2 hours, you guys. So that means we will be after it's
oh yeah.
Whatever time it is.
Math. It's math.
It's gonna be late. It's gonna be late.
It's gonna be late.
Later than usual.
Yes.
But we will be here for the recap of Wednesday's show. And then, next week is the finale and you guys get it. All that good stuff. Thank you everyone who joined us in the chat. We appreciate it. Please let us know all of your thoughts, who you're rooting for, who's coming back, who's out, all that stuff.
Let us know, and we'll see you next time.
Yes, sir.
Okay, bye.
Bye, guys.